In this video, I will show you the tin glazed earthenwares that I studied at the Metropolitan Museum of Art and talk a little about my involvement in this media. Prior to my study tour there in 1975, I had recently completed a commission of 800 pieces of ceramics in antique styles for the new theme park, Old Sydney Town at Summersby, which had just opened at the beginning of that same year. I reproduced many pieces of pottery in the tin glaze style, which may have conceivably come from England to the new colony in New South Wales on the early fleets. Now here are the pieces from the Met collection. The plate on the left, probably from the Bristol factory, is simply painted in manganese pigments, giving it that purpley colour. The foliage effect was created with the use of a sponge. Tin glazed and decorated pottery tried to emulate the Chinese porcelains that flooded Europe at that time, because the potters of this time, the last half of the 17th and the first half of the 18th century, were still unaware of the processes needed to make these hard, translucent porcelains. The elaborate edge of the plate on the right indicates that it is Dutch Delft and has a rather lovely simple Chinese influence decoration. This plate, richly decorated in cobalt blue, is also from an English factory. It was often difficult to tell which one. There are distinct Chinese influences here as well. The plate on the left is also English Delftware with its whimsical bird scene. 4 colours are used: cobalt, iron, chromium for the green and antimony for the yellow. On the left is a strongly decorated Dutch Delft plate. It's a bit of a mystery as to the origin of this plate, English or Dutch. There was a lot of copying of patents went on between the various factories in those countries, but it is nevertheless a beautifully executed design of flowers and fence with a repeat border in those same 4 colours. Again, a Chinese theme, but it is distinctly English from probably the Liverpool factory. The decoration is called Bianco Sopra Bianco. It is achieved by painting the decoration in a white glaze over the blued glaze of the plate. 2 English Delftware plates with initials and a date may be made to be given to that particular person, or may be to commemorate something like a birth. The plate on the left is Dutch Delft. Zin ermo means in dire distress. And the plate on the right is English, but not tin glazed, evident because of the reticulated border, but probably a Staffordshire creamware plate with the same decoration. Who copied who, I wonder? These 2 lovely plates are French. The French used the term faience to describe their tin glazed earthenwares. You may have noticed by now that most of the wares had chips around the edges because of the softness of the body. They chip very easily. And the English called their tin glazed earthenwares Delftware. This lovely plate was made in the Lambeth factory about 1770, with a Chinese figure in the landscape and a scrolling border of flowers and leaves. At this stage, I should mention that almost without exception, you will find stilt marks on the back of tin glazed plates. The plates were rested on 3 fine ceramic stilts for the glaze firing and always left a mark in the glaze on the back of the plate. On the left is a large dish, also known as a charger, commemorating King William III, and on the right is a puzzle jug. This is a puzzle in the form of a jug. These were very popular in homes and taverns in the 17th and 18th century. The inscription typically challenges the drinker to consume the contents without spilling them. The solution to the puzzle is that the jug has a hidden tube, one end of which is the spout. The tube usually runs around the rim and then down the handle with its other opening inside the jug and near the bottom. To solve the puzzle, the drinker must suck from the spout end of the tube. To make the puzzle more complicated, it was common to provide a number of additional holes along the tube which must be closed off with the fingers before the contents could be sucked out. Many blue dash chargers were made in the English Delftware factories, such as this one here on the right. They all had this dashed decoration in cobalt blue around the rim. This one is an equestrian scene of King William III, and the small sculpture is also of King William. Another Dutch Delft polychrome plate, the decoration comprises of only two colours, iron red and cobalt blue. Another delightful Dutch Delft plate from about the middle of the 18th century. Here are two more French faience plates from the Nevers factory in central France. They both have typical scalloped edges, a characteristic of French faience, and the plate on the left is glazed in a tin glaze, heavily blued with cobalt oxide. The decoration is called pâte sur pâte, which describes the application of the decoration in white glaze on a blue glaze. A lively-looking Chinese dragon decorates the other plate in polychrome colours. Here is a delightful pair of Dutch Delft plates with chinoiserie scenes and a striking border. The English Delftware potteries produced many of these flower bricks in several different forms. They were used mainly for hyacinth bulbs and maybe also for cut flowers. And to complete this video, I will show you the three pieces of tin glazed earthenware that I have in my own collection. Thank you for watching. This plate, in very fine condition with its charming pale blue cobalt decoration, comes from a London Delftware factory and is about 1750. The Chinese influence on this Bristol plate is typical of that factory and is perhaps a little earlier, about 1740. Here is a French faience plate with the cornucopia and bird decoration, and it is slightly later, about 1800. And incidentally, transfer printing was not used on tin glazed earthenwares, so all the pieces you have seen have been hand decorated.